2024 is going to be a crazy year. I don't think we'll have seen a year quite like this for video game stuff in a long time, especially when, of course, comes to Nintendo. We're all expecting there to be some things happening this year, whether it be upcoming Nintendo Directs or, of course, hardware stuff. Many of us think, many industry people think that there is going to be some new hardware released from Nintendo in 2024, and it's going to be insanity. It's going to be absolute insanity. A story broke yesterday about an opinion that has everyone, all the Nintendo YouTubers running to their setups to film and record. And since RGT is not a Nintendo YouTuber, I decided to take my time with this story, but I did want to talk about it, even though there's been way too many Nintendo videos on the channel so far this year. I'm sorry. We'll be talking about PlayStation and Xbox as news happens. But allegedly, we have some pricing and potential game pricing with the Nintendo Switch 2 based on an opinion. And that's something that everyone seems to be completely forgetting with this situation. Every year at the start of the year, especially in Japan, all of these websites, all of these publications, they reach out to people that they talk to throughout the year to get their opinions on what will be happening in 2024 for all video game companies. We, of course, talked about the stuff the other day with developers, with Capcom, with Koei Tecmo, saying that they're looking forward to new Nintendo hardware potentially this year and what they're going to be able to do with it. Was that just a very tongue-in-cheek thing? Was there more to it? You would have to think that if this system was coming out in 2024, like many of us assume it will be, that, Koei Tecmo and Capcom would have development kits. Obviously, those are two companies that do a lot of stuff with Nintendo. Monster Hunter Rise, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors. Like, it would just make sense for them to have development kits with this. So some people felt like it was leading on to something potentially more. We have another one of these situations that is just opinion based, and it's coming from my favorite doctor and yours, Dr. Serkan Toto. I still don't know I think he's an economics doctor. I don't know, man. That's like the podiatrist thing. Remember that episode of Seinfeld? Like, you might as well be a doctor of thugonomics. Like, am I a doctor of Hulkamania because I know a lot about Hulk Hogan? Is there a course I can take? Because I will take that course. But let's see what our good Dr. Serkan Toto had to say. And we've got a lot of interesting stuff here. The time is finally here for a Switch successor. Even though I can say a Pro model actually did exist, and certain developers were already working with the dev kit. So right then and there, a big FU to all of the people who bashed me when the Nintendo Switch OLED came out and it wasn't a Pro. Look, I took my L on it, but I did feel like that was indeed a thing, and many people have come out. Digital Foundry has come out. Now Dr. Serkan Toto has come out and said that the Pro was real. I think it was just, COVID and, the industry was changing. And with COVID, I think they wanted to scale back things because manufacturing wasn't as readily available. You got to remember, like, manufacturing issues were across the board, and we're now just getting to a more bit of normalcy when it comes to stuff like that. But now we have the Panama Canal, which is having problems, and the water's too low. I have a bunch of toys that are stuck in the Panama Canal. Dr. Serkan Toto wrote that. I believe the next hardware will drop in 2024 for $400. There is a high chance that games will cost more too, $70. And everyone's going goo goo gaga crazy over this opinion. Now, let's dissect all of this. We've already dissected the Pro model stuff and all that sort of stuff. I'm not taking a victory lap because I took an L on it. But he believes that the Switch 2, the next Switch iteration, will come out this year for $400. And when you hear that, I think a lot of people say, well, that's a lot higher than Nintendo usually goes. And you would be 100% correct. But you kind of have to put things into context of how Nintendo prices their system. Nintendo likes to be on the lower end compared to the other hardware manufacturers out there. Now, yes, we have different variations of these hardwares, but let's just say that this is the premium line. This is the premium model that comes out on day one. Maybe there's a cheaper one, but let's just say there's a premium model here. The premium model at $400 is still cheaper than the MSRP for the premium PlayStation 5 at $500 and Xbox Series X at $500. Yes, you can get a digital edition, but Nintendo Switch owners like physical stuff, and we're going to assume that there is physical goods within this. When you look at the Nintendo Switch OLED model, that of course came out at $350, and honestly, for many people, it was worth it. Like, as someone who picked up an OLED on day one, like, I absolutely love that screen. I think that screen is just so good. And we've heard rumors that this upcoming system won't have an OLED screen, but that's okay, because it's more of an indication to me about how the screen that they used for the original model of the Switch was just very outdated along with the technology when it came out. You have to remember, all because the system itself came out in 2017, that system was probably done and ready to go at the end of 2015, meaning that it was using parts probably from 2014 and behind. That is over 10 years, or that's actually 10 years ago now. So you have to imagine that whatever LCD screen they use, if they choose to use it, will indeed be of a higher quality. As far as the $400 price point is concerned, I don't think it'll be a huge detriment to people. You know, I think anything over $400, then yes, you're getting into a bit of more slippery territory, but the cheapest Steam Deck is $400, and that's limited in size. The screen isn't as good. Well, actually, no, it's just more so limited in size, but I think $400 will work. I think if they can, they will try to get it more aligned with $350, but I think $400 would work on this. And then, of course, the $70 game thing should come as a surprise to absolutely no one, because it's your fault. It's your fault that Switch games, or Switch 2 games, will probably be, a lot of them will probably be $70. Yes, you will get some games that will only be $60 or potentially less, but bigger projects are going to cost $70 because you bought Tears of the Kingdom. That's what it all boils down to with this. Tears of the Kingdom, I feel, was a test. And they wanted to see, well, how well is this game going to sell out of the gate at $70? And it defied expectations. It was an anomaly in things for $70 games. So because consumers were so quick to adapt to it, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. Let me clear that up right now. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have paid $70 for it. I paid $70 for it, and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. I feel like I got my $70 worth. But that was something that opens the gate to show Nintendo, hey, people are cool with paying $70 as long as it's a bigger production game. A Metroid Prime 4, why couldn't that be $70? There has to be multiplayer, I feel, in order for that to be a $70 game. But I think that could be a $70 game if that's going to be coming out on the new hardware, or a, you know, cross-generational version. Like, there's still so many questions about it. But the $70 stuff, it's a hard pill to swallow. But, you know, you can always wait for a sale. You can always trade in games. That's kind of one thing that I think a lot of people forget. You know, sell some games, sell some old games or something like that to take that $10 off. You know, skip a fast food meal. Now, are some games that are priced at $70 not worth that price point? 100%. But there's games at $60 that are not worth that price point too. So to me, it's just like, you know, if you're really interested in it, I feel like, you know, that extra $10, you might just have to grind a little bit more, you know. Minimum wage is like $15 everywhere now, so it's like an extra hour of work. Like, I feel like there is a way to make it. Now, personally, I would like all video games to be like $1, because that would be super cool. But I understand, like, this is business. At the end of the day, these companies are not your friends. Nintendo, Bowser, Reggie, when he was there, none of these people are your friends. They're here to make money. They're here to capitalize on their user base. So all in all, we have to keep the one thing in mind. This is an opinion. And you could say, well, Dr. Serkan Toto knows their stuff, but I mean, what was the weird cryptic tweet? Was it for the Zelda movie? Because I don't see how you get Zelda movie out of that weird ZCR 2023 or whatever the hell it was. Like, I don't understand how you get a movie out of that. You know, Dr. Serkan Toto probably knows more than the average person, but I'm not willing to say that this is going to be the price point, and this is going to be the price point of games. There's $70 games on the Switch, so of course that is a possibility for this. I just don't think all of them will be it. There is a chance that this system will be $400. It would still be cheaper than the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, so I don't see it as a big deal, especially if the games are there. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And when you look at the past 2 years for Nintendo, as far as bigger AAA style games on the Switch, really hasn't been all that crazy. There hasn't really been any, well, beyond Tears of the Kingdom, let me clarify that, because that was the most expensive game for Nintendo to develop, but that game was in development for a very, very long time. When you look at newer stuff, though, nothing really too crazy, so I expect them to have a strong lineup. It's all just rumor, it's all just speculation as of now, but I wouldn't be surprised if by summertime we know a hell of a lot more than we know now than we know then. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. We'll know more then than we know now. Ha! Told you I'm getting sick, folks. Anyways, let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We hit 490,000 subscribers yesterday. I did put in a pinned tweet that I would show feet. If we did that, I'll make a community post where I show feet so you can see my feet at some point today. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.